Tank Davis's trainer is issuing a very scary warning to everyone at lightweight and junior welterweight at 140 pounds, because Tank has been through a lot. If you guys haven't been following the news, you guys know that he spent some time in prison, and he's gone through a lot. Let's not lie, it hasn't been easy for Tank. I wish him all the best. Obviously, we don't send any bad energy. We hope all the best for a guy like Tank because he's so talented, but we hope that he stays out of, any trouble, because we want to see him shine. We think that it's his time, everything like that. So talented, such a fun fighter to watch, so entertaining. He sells out every fight and has the pay-per-view of the year at 1.2 million buys. Obviously, Ryan Garcia was a big part of that as well, but you're not doing 1.2 if Tank's not there. And it's Ryan Garcia alone, and vice versa, of course. But Tank's the superior fighter. There's no doubt about that. Against Ryan Garcia, he looks really good. And that was the way I kind of expected the fight to plan out. I thought it was actually going to end up worse for Ryan, but obviously a body shot, devastating. We heard about the pre-existing injury, and if Tank touches you, we know, that. I think even without the injury, the fight would have been, similar outcome if that punch lands on. Tank lands that big shot on Ryan Garcia's liver. Man, it's trouble, because a lot of people talk about Ryan Garcia quitting in that fight. I don't think he quit, but people are gonna talk. That shot hurts. We've never taken a shot like that from a guy like Tank, so I feel like we can't really talk about whether or not he quit. Whether or not he was able to continue, maybe he could have continued. I think it just would have gotten worse from there because he was obviously hurt. But man, against a guy like Tank, it's really tough. And Tank's trainers are saying that they feel bad for the next fighter that has to get in the ring with him because of everything they've gone through. Everything, the trials and tribulations outside of the ring for Tank, legal issues, spending time locked up. It's not easy, obviously, and I think there's a lot of frustration that he's ready to release inside the ring. And Tank has been very vocal about it. All the pain that he's gone through from as a kid, he's been through a lot. Foster homes, stuff along those lines. Coming from a rough area where people are getting killed, and it's not the best place to grow up and raise a child or raise a family, period. And Tank's come through that, and he's been very vocal about where he's come from, coming from the dirt, and being where he is today. It's such an incredible story. And Tank has said that he basically uses boxing as his therapy. That's his chance to release all of his anger, express himself, and it's honestly great to see. And you can kind of tell by the way he fights. He talks about that too. He says that the way he fights expresses his pain. Everything he's gone through, the fighting, the stress, the hard times is all been put into these moments. So I think anybody who gets in there with Tank next, I agree with his trainer Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny. They're in for a long night against a guy like Tank because he's as hungry as ever. Guys like Shakur, guys like Devin Haney, I feel like those have been the guys that Tank really is keeping his eyes on. You could throw Tiafimo in there as well. But those are all tremendous fights for Tank, not easy opponents to beat because they all have that boxing ability. And, they're counter punchers as well. They're pretty slick fighters, so I'm excited to see how Tank fares with that. I think he's going to be able to hold his own against most of them. I think Shakur is probably the most difficult matchup just from an IQ standpoint. That would be interesting to see how Tank's IQ fares against a guy like Shakur's. Obviously, any of these lightweights to junior welterweights at 140, these are all interesting fights, but I think it's, for the most part, it's Shakur, Tank, Devin Haney, and then Tiafimo Lopez at 140, who recently beat Josh Taylor. I think any of those are great fights, but, Tank and Loma is a good fight. Those are the main ones I really want to see. I don't really care for anybody else, Tank and Terrence Crawford. You didn't hear that from me? But man, that's a more unrealistic one. But man, I'd love to see that. I think that's a dangerous fight for Tank though. But if anyone can do it, Tank's been vocal about if I touch that chin, it's over. The Ryan rematch, I don't think that happens, at least anytime soon. I don't even really think it happens. But it's a great draw. Ryan's a great draw. People would love to see an attempted redemption story. I think Tank's just too elite. He's just with Shakur, Devin, and Tio. That's elite. Those are the real fighters. the real problems. I'm not saying Ryan's not a real fighter. He's obviously a real fighter. I just think that right now, at this point in his career, he's just a step below these guys. He's even said it, he has to rack up some wins to get that opportunity again, come back stronger, come for the Tank rematch in the future, and I think he could do it. But right now, I think it's, Tank, Loma, Devin Haney, Shakur. That's basically it. So, and Teofimo, did I say Teo? But yeah, I think anybody who gets in there with Tank is in for a long night because, yeah, he's been through a lot, and he stops most guys in tremendous fashion. But I think Shakur's probably the toughest matchup. And surprisingly enough, I think Teofimo's a harder matchup than Devin is for Tank, just because he knows how to counterpunch. And after seeing that performance, that beatdown he put on Josh Taylor, Teo might be a problem, coming back from retirement, that quick retirement. And man, I want to see what Tank does next, to be honest, because I think he could beat a lot of guys. And I think now's the time. You don't want to wait until these guys get bigger, like guys like Shakur, and they fill out. I think he could get them now. Make these fights happen, maybe let them marinate a little longer, but guys like Devin, guys like Shakur, I think you should go get them now because it'd be interesting. Maybe get Loma if you're Tank. I think that's a good fight. It'd be a big statement to beat up a guy like Loma and maybe stop him. Man, if Tank stops Loma, shake up the division, shake up the world of boxing. But that's what Tank does. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who should Tank fight next? But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
That's going to do it for another NASFight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.